So today, on the second day, we're still working on defining who are you, what are your boundaries. Now, I hinted at that this time we're gonna talk about complaining about stuff, and I actually don't mean this in a negative way. What we're gonna be looking at is just data. This isn't dwelling on negativity, this is just data of feelings that you already have. Because our feelings as we go through day to day gives us great data on what's going on in our lives. So now we're going to look at what annoys you. What would you complain about to somebody else that is happening in your business and even happening in your life? These are things that are very illustrative of your boundaries being violated. Boundaries that you may not have ever clearly defined and you may not even be consciously aware of. So we're talking about when do you get annoyed? When do you feel resentful? When do you feel taken advantage of? When do you feel like you've been put upon? Things that make you feel stressed out or anxious, and things in your life that drain you of energy. Now, one thing I want to make clear is just because something might annoy you, stress you out, make you feel anxious, drain you of energy, doesn't mean you're going to stop doing it. Doesn't mean you're going to cut that person out of your life. It doesn't mean that you have to, okay? Sometimes there may be something in your life that is making you feel resentful that just needs to be tweaked. There are things in your life that make you feel anxious that's actually a good anxiety. It's like that fear of an anxiety over something wonderful and something new. I mean, when you're first falling in love, you may feel a lot of anxiety when you're starting a new relationship with a person, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't fall in love. The issue is there something that is pushing a boundary for you, and you want to be conscious about it and be able to consciously make decisions about those boundaries, what you're going to push, what you're going to adjust. In some places, you may even want to move the boundaries, but you want to do that as a conscious choice instead of having someone else force you into it. So let me give you some examples of things that annoy me, or things that make me feel resentful and where this has come up for me. So a few years ago, I was not charging enough for my services. And how I knew that was I was starting to feel resentful when I got a new client or when a current client gave me work to do. Even though I loved these people who were my clients, and I still do. Some of them are my clients to this day. But I was starting to feel resentful. And so I knew that there were boundaries that needed to be changed. I also feel resentment and annoyance and anxiety that have to do with phone calls. So first, if someone calls me unannounced, that can definitely make me feel anxious, like I'm interrupted, and I can feel resentful. And to be honest, phone calls generally make me feel anxious. Now, I actually still love talking to people on the phone, and I do it as part of my business, and I have a very small list of people in the world who I, in my personal life, choose to talk to on the phone. But it drains my energy and can make me feel anxious and take up a lot of each day's energy units. So I need to set boundaries around that. Now, I don't say 0 phone calls, even though I know it said that in the Wall Street Journal article. That's actually an oversimplification. I don't answer the phone except for a very small list of people. However, I do schedule phone calls. And so I just want to give you that example of something that phone calls, something that make me very anxious and can take a whole lot of energy and drain energy from me. So it's not about getting rid of phone calls altogether. It is about setting boundaries around them so I can still do it. So you also want to look at personal things. You know, I have anxiety about going to IKEA at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday. It's so busy, it's so loud, you feel claustrophobic by being trapped in there on their little path. I mean, it's just, there's this overstimulation of sounds and smells and like that fluorescent lighting. That doesn't mean I don't go to IKEA. I just go at like when they first open in the morning. Or I bring someone with me who can have a really good energy bubble that person can take me in, and then my energy is protected. So that's what I mean. There may be things in your life, in your personal life, and that carries over to business. So just like how IKEA at 2 o'clock in the afternoon can be an issue for me, going to a business conference, going to a networking event, going to a seminar can have the same kind of issues. And the strategies I've learned, and we're going to talk about this later, don't worry about it yet, but the strategies I've learned to set boundaries in my personal life can apply to very similar situations in business too. So your assignment today is to start taking an inventory of things that annoy you. Where do you feel resentful in your business, in your work, with clients, customers, with people on the internet? What makes you mad when you're on Facebook? Because that is good data. What makes you annoyed with your staff, with your employees, with your contractors? And then, of course, also look at friends and family. You may want to be very precise in how you keep this list of annoyances, because you may not want someone else to read it over your shoulder. It may be something that you eventually want to discuss with them. But remember, this isn't just about being negative. This is not like a list of complaints to just wallow in negativity. This is important data that comes from your feelings that we can use and when we start crafting boundaries to observe and communicate and enforce upcoming in this program. So to give you a little hint about what we're going to do next time, I'm actually grabbing my sheet because I'm drawing a blank. Next time, we're going to talk about the positive stuff. Yay! We're going to talk about what is joyful and what fills you up. So I'll see you guys next time.